Yeah. Always so nice, eh? Takes a while. I think 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
That we last co-created.
Yeah.
And yeah, very nice. Very nice to be here, arriving with you.
Yeah. And already, even though we've only been here for a couple of minutes, I'm noticing I'm just settling even more. So thank you for that.
The same.
And almost like there's nothing yet everything in front of us.
Yes.
It's like, what?
I love that. It really feels like that. It's the arriving point.
Yes. And also like a threshold that we can walk over together and trust that whatever needs to arise will arise from either or both, or neither or either. Yeah. Just admit I'm in my head at the second, and there's nothing arising from there that needs to be said. Mm-hmm. So it's that sitting in the heart, in our hearts, and connecting that way, and then noticing what's needed.
Makes a big difference.
And the word that comes up, and it's your word, is co-creation. There's something very precious, and it almost feels like my stuff can be not excluded from it, but it's not intruding on this space. Mm-hmm. It's just like, I'm here with you, so why would I want to be anywhere else?
Yes, co-creation. And it happens, I believe, and through experience, it happens when you are focused in one place, in that moment, with the person or with everything you are, or with anything you are doing or creating. It's being there.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've been experiencing is that when you are here, in the moment, time flows slower. There's a flow. But at the same time, when you look back, it went fast. But in the moment, it was there. And it honors with who you are in that moment, sharing.
Beautiful.
And it honors you, I'm with you, and it honors you, but you honor also me because you are here listening in the same way, no? So you are here with me. We are co-creating in this space. We had many things going on before that, and we will have afterwards.
Agreed.
But it's this moment that it's a space where to honor the time, and it should be any time, every moment, not just because I'm here with you. It's also afterwards with whoever I am.
Yep.
The same way.
Yeah. And it becomes a way of being.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I think it gets noticed by other people when you show up like that, or I show up like this, because it's so unusual. Mm-hmm. My sense is that we all want to get something somewhere as quick as possible. And I'm not really interested in what you're saying, doing in front of me, as long as I can get what I want. And it happened yesterday. Had to take an item back to a store, and I realised that the purchase had been that the item had been purchased by Molly's card, not mine, and she's not here. So I just explained the situation. Sorry, I'd spoken to her beginning, so I started the conversation saying, "Hi, how are you? How's your day?" That sort of thing. Smile, connection. And I then explained the situation. I said, "Look, it's one of those things. I don't have the card, etc., etc. So it's entirely possible that I'll end up with a voucher or whatever." Let's see what we can do, she said. We don't normally do this, but tap your card, and we'll pay it into that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She didn't have to. Rules are rules. And she said, "No, we need to put it onto that card. Otherwise you have a voucher." I said, "Absolutely fine." But she didn't. And I'm wondering whether that energy change, it's so unusual. We feel we want to give something back.
Yes, I feel it's you're creating a bonding, and you're creating
beautiful. Yes.
You're creating a bonding when you are interested. It's not that you're doing it because you're just doing it.
Correct.
It happens many times that people ask you, "How are you?" and then you want to respond, and they continued with another thing. No?
Yes.
So this is
really, I'm really struggling. They say, "Oh, great." What?
They didn't even listen to what they asked.
Yeah.
So here you are, when you are there and with the intention to bond, to really...
It's a relationship.
Create a relationship and then go into for what you came. There's a bonding that it's not usual.
Yeah.
But that's the bonding that we humans, for us, it's nature.
It's so needed. And we've got so disconnected from it, disorientated.
Yes. And it happens everywhere, no? At work as well. When you create a bonding with your teams, with each of them, they see that, they feel it. There's a relationship.
Yeah.
And from there, you are able to work and also explain your expectations over the situation, and also listen to their point of view, to how they see themselves. And then through that, you transforming the relationship and them and yourself. But because there's a bonding, there's a bond, and there's a relationship.
Yeah. And if it's not a relationship, it becomes transactional.
Mm-hmm.
And transactional means I don't care.
Yeah.
And there's I use the word disorientated, but there's the inside and the outside, and the outside is uncertainty in organizations, in teams, in families, everywhere. What's going on, and will I be okay? But there is something, I think, going on inside, which is the disorientation. Mm-hmm. Is that we don't really have our feet on the ground. There's no foundation on which to build, and it's scary. And we do everything we can to address the uncertainty, and organizations do that. Look, we've got funds, we've got the staff, we've got the products, the services, all these good things. We're going to be okay. So are you okay now? And they go, I understand that, but I'm still disorientated. And I think in conversations like this, conversation like you have and I have, we get to the disorientation bit, because I think disorientation has some of its tentacles into transactions and not relationships. Mm-hmm. And so you can almost put in that disorientated, the dehumanizing.
Yes, it's when you talk to AI, an assistant, and you want to talk, and you're specifying you want certain things, and this machine doesn't understand because it's an algorithm, so it really disorientates you, because you're lost, because you're not able to know where to continue, because the algorithm is stopping and it doesn't have that specific path to continue. So it's the same in relationships. When there's no communication, there's no bond, there's no pathway. And so you get disoriented because you don't know, you're not in the same path. So you have expectation, you have a point of view of something, the other person has, or the team has a different point of view. But if you don't communicate and you don't bond and you don't create a relationship, there's no common path to continue.
I like that. So what you're talking about with when we bond, there is a common path, and when we're not, there is just two paths, and they're not connected.
And they're not connected.
I like that.
And that's why we go back to co-creation. It's the same thing, because co-creation is the exponential summing up. No, it's you with me. We are co-creating something else. So that's relationships also.
Right.
For instance, if I am with my partner, I have a partner, and I allow him. Well, he is himself. I am myself, but together we are co-creating the relationship.
Yes.
It's also when you have a baby, together you're creating a baby. But so it's really the common path. You're co-creating a common path, because it's defined by one person, the other person, and what they are, and together they are co-creating what they are together.
Right.
With what's around them, with what's happening around. Like in an organization, if I'm with my team, we are co-creating something, all of us, through the relationship and through the environment we have, through the everything that plays a role in our work, in the relationship. But we have to consider all those variables, or the criteria to co-create the common path. But for that, there must be a relationship, there must be a bond, there must be communication, there must be transparency, there must be humbleness, there must be honesty.
Oh, I like this. Honesty and trust. So I love that. And so this just my thinking is that let's just talk about you and your partner. So you're on your path, he's on his path, and that's fine. But through the relationship, through the communication, through the humility, the honesty, the trust, and so much more, you create the common path. Doesn't mean, and what I'm thinking now is that if you become the common path, you lose you.
Yes.
Right? So we still need to keep the you, and he has to keep his or her, hers. But we create the we, the ours. And I think that in my past relationships, I've been very good at wanting to create the common path, but I've lost mine.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Me too.
And therefore, we're relying on the other person to enable us to feel safe, rather than I'm going to find a way to feel safe for myself, and then I can bring that grounded person to the relationship.
Yes.
Not the needy person. you know, I need you for me to feel happy.
Yes. No.
Right?
Yes.
I can be happy on my own. You can be happy on your own. Therefore, so I use the analogy of two oak trees on the side of a path. We're independent, yet there are times when the wind blows one way and I'm supporting you, the wind blows the other way and you're supporting me. All our branches and the like all interconnect, but they're touching, but they're not the other. And similarly with the roots. And at that level, there's almost like this, it's an unseen connection that you have with each other. You can look across the room and he or she will know how you are.
Yes.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Because we are connected. And it's why when, I think you said it as well, and I certainly agree with this, they can do their work. Their work doesn't have to be our work. I mean, there will be our work, of course, but in fact, I think that creates the differences, and it also helps with the excitement because you're bringing yours into this common path, and he's bringing his to this common path.
Yes. And it applies everywhere in every relationship.
Oh, every relationship.
Everywhere. Work, home, partner. It's always, it's like you're saying, if I always say there are three entities in the relationship. So in the partner relationship, so there's him or her, me, and their relationship.
Yes.
No? At work, it depends on how you go, the levels you go. But in my case, I go one by one with every team member.
Right.
So I create a relationship there.
Right.
But then we have, for instance, a project. And in a project, you have the relationship to the team for the project, but everyone has to walk the same path for the project.
Love it.
And then we, as company, to the clients, the same. It's everything. It depends on where you see it, but there are always three. And there's always the respect and the value for the counterpart, or the one you are co-creating with. And everyone, at the end, are people. We are the people. So in the co-creation, it's between people, and it depends which level, but always generating a common path for the benefit of everyone.
Right. And this path can be as short or as long.
Yeah.
So when I arrived at the store, I arrived with me, she arrived with her, and for a brief moment we had a common path.
Yes.
It was only short.
Yes.
You have, with each of your team members, they are themselves, you are yourself, and their common path between you and them, you and his or her. With the project, which is going to go on a lot longer, you're bringing all of those people together. Let's say it's almost like a circle around. This is now the common path for the project. And if one of those project members is needy and requires you know what I mean, that's what we've been saying, then they're going to struggle with it because they're not bringing themselves, they're bringing you and themselves.
Yes. They're bringing their need and not themselves.
Yes.
Because I've been there, and in that relationship, and that's when I understood there are always three entities afterwards, no? Yeah. And it's that I wasn't there. I didn't exist because I was doing everything for the other person and everything for the relationship. But as soon as I decided to go out, to not do it anymore, to be me, it crumbled because
Yeah.
it didn't exist. There wasn't a common path.
Yes. And without getting political on it, you can see that a lot of people in the administration have lost themselves.
Yes. Yes.
There is only the common path is defined by the other.
Yes.
And
Or, yeah.
And none of them exist on their own, but when it all falls apart, they're going to be lost.
Yes, they are lost, and many times the problem with that is that they believe it's all about them also, because some of them are very everywhere in any organization, not only politics, they believe everything has to do with them, and they forget that they have a team. They forget that they are in service to the people. So it's about not having a balanced relationship, no, and a relationship in harmony of the giving and the receiving, and of being in service. Because when I'm in relationship with someone, I'm in service to the relationship.
Yes, agreed.
You know, when I'm at work and I'm with one of my team member, I'm in relationship to their growth. So I'm always in relationship to something, but coming whole and wanting the other person whole, and then together co-creating. So what happens at many organizations or political level, there's no wholeness in the parts, and there's always disharmony and unbalancing giving and receiving. And that's why it's not co-creation.
And why it doesn't work.
Yeah, and that's why it doesn't work.
And the customer will notice that it's the organization is self-serving, be it as an organization or serving or individually serving. And they may not be able to articulate what that means, but they will know it's not right. It doesn't feel right. And so they start to armor up and back off to protect and to find those that will understand us, will be prepared to be on this common path together.
Yes.
And it kind of makes sense then when you get when I was in these sorts of roles, we would have there'd be myself, I was the front man, then there was the senior consultant, and then we would bring in a consultant to do the job. But we always made sure that the three of us were on the common path. All right. And we all had specific roles. So I kept the relationship. The senior consultant oversaw what was going on, and the consultant delivered. And if things changed, then it would go to the senior consultant. If the project finished, then it would come back to me. So we all had a role, and we all had an interest, and we were all connected. So it felt much more whole. And so the client didn't need to worry that the senior consultant wasn't going to deliver it. They knew he was on the team. So they felt he was on the common path.
Yes.
Right? Had what often happens is you get the senior person comes in, they sell it so amazingly, and the guy goes, well, we want you. And he said, well, no, you can't. You've got to have him or this team. So they bring the team in, and it's like, well, we just built the relationship with you, and now we've got to start again, and we're not sure. And you can see how those things deteriorate.
Yeah, there's no alignment.
No alignment, no common path.
No common path.
That.
No common path.
Just imbalanced. And they forget they're in service. That's such a key one. We're not here for ourselves. No. We're here for our customer in most, in business situations.
Not everywhere. We are here. We are here for the wholeness of being in service.
Yeah.
So we
Beautiful.
have to take care of ourselves to be whole. Ourselves as a person, company, everything to be okay, to be, because we work and everything we relate from the inside out. So the inside
Yeah.
has to be whole. The inside has to be organized. It has to be, there must be a connection between, if it's me with me, but if it's a team and an organization, there must be a connection with everyone.
Yes.
A co-creation inside. And then it's when we are able to go out. And as we go out, creating paths through the relationships, it's when we are able to take in. So it's this the same thing, this giving and
Symbiotic.
receiving.
Yeah. In breath, out breath.
Yes. But we have to start by being with ourselves first. And okay. So the wholeness of the organization, the wholeness of the team, the wholeness of the persons, everyone involved. And then we go out. And then we create this, we expect and we show with whoever we interact that we want them to be themselves, that we want them to be whole, for us to be able to co-create.
Yeah. And if I'm whole, then we can talk about anything. We may not get the result that we wanted, but at least we've had the conversation about it. We've been able to share what's coming up, and it's been listened to and understood.
Yes.
And I think there is something there's a couple of things running through my mind. One is about looking after ourselves, and I think using the word you've chosen, which is lovely, is if there's times when I'm not whole, then I've got work to do. Mm-hmm. And it reminds me of a conversation, I think it was again the lovely Simon Sinek, is that the salesperson's numbers for this month or the second month running has not been very good. So one boss comes in and said, your numbers are not very good for these 2 months. You better be careful. You've got to get your act together for third month. Otherwise, there's going to be problems. Or the other one, which comes in and said, hey, I've noticed the numbers are not so good these last 2 months. What's going on? Or is everything okay? Anything I can do? And suddenly it changes. But if the environment is much more toxic, I'm less likely as that person to come and say to you, I've got a problem.
Yeah.
All right. Because it's like, if I come to you with a problem, you're likely to say, well, that's your problem, not mine. Sort it, or we'll sort you. And so it becomes a transaction. Mm-hmm. And then the other is, we've got to continue to look after ourselves. Because if we don't get all of the classic ones, the right amount of sleep, the nutrition, the hydration, the relationships, we're going to be needy, etc., on the others for it. And that's not the job. And the more inner work we can do, the deeper we can take the external relationships. There's a correlation. It has to balance.
Yes.
If I can't engage with myself, I can't engage with others. If I can't listen to myself, I can't listen to others. If I can't co-create with myself,
it's basic. And it's not, you listen and you hear outside that many times you're being told, don't be selfish. And it's not that.
Yeah.
Because what's the difference? Is that we are in service to our wholeness. So you can never be selfish. Because when you take care of yourself as a whole, you are connected with everyone you have around. And you are in service to your wholeness, which
Yeah.
is in service to whoever you have around.
Right.
So there is never, it cannot be selfish.
If you are in service to wholeness and to the wholeness of others, you cannot be selfish. Have you frozen? Oh shoot, you're frozen.
I'm back.
You're back now. Yeah.
No, it was me.
Right.
I guess.
So what I was saying is, you said don't be selfish, and so I was just tweaking that. Is that if you are in service to the wholeness and to others, then you can't be selfish. Yeah, because you've frozen again, I think.
Now back.
Now back. Yes.
I don't know. I'm connected. It's not Wi-Fi.
Right. And again,
sorry.
Okay. So what I was saying is that just picking up on something you said about don't be selfish. I agree. But it's the other way around for me, is that if you are in service to the wholeness of yourself and the wholeness and connection and relationship with others, then nothing you do will be selfish. Because if I need to take some time out to look after myself, I'm being in service of self, which is doing you a good as well. But we can still be selfish. So I think when that phrase of, just don't be selfish is correct and incorrect, and we've not explained it well enough. And so we're left thinking, well, if I look after myself, I'm being selfish. Mm-hmm. If I'm looking after myself to be in service to myself and service of others, I can't be being selfish.
No, never.
Because we're all unique human beings, and we all have different personal needs and illnesses and things like this. And if I'm feeling burnt out, I'm no use to myself, I'm no use to anyone. So if I flag that and say, Jeannette, I'm really struggling at this moment, and you're the sort of manager who would say, tell me more, and what can we do about it? What do you need? And it wouldn't even, the job, the projects, all of those things would be secondary. Mm-hmm. All right, I need to look after you, not look after me, you know what I mean? I need to enable you to look after yourself.
Yes.
And we will support you in doing that, whatever happens. So you're almost like, let me just take that pressure off you for a moment. Now breathe a bit. And there's this sort of catch-22, is that you as a manager can't do that because you would be appearing to be soft. And I can't possibly do that or expect that, because I would be seen as being soft and weak and all of those things.
And it's the contrary.
It's the contrary. So again, there's always one side and the other. And so there's always this paradox and holding of both. And maybe that's part of the problem in the past. Children should be seen and not heard. It's like nuts. Now, when you explore it and break it out into the two paths, oh, yes, we don't want you be misbehaving and doing all of those things, but we really want to see you. We want to have you come and have a conversation with us. Well, yeah, but I've been told I can only be seen, but not heard. I don't have any value, for heaven's sake. What's going on? So we're setting the children up to fail.
Yes, because they're not heard and they cannot be whole, because we are not supporting them to be whole.
Yeah. Lots to do, eh? But as you say, and if you can't look after yourself, You can't look after anyone.
No, never. You cannot.
And, you know, I may have shared this story before of I was walking somewhere, and I could hear this noise that sounded like a very uncomfortable lady walking on high heels. It was that sort of noise. And as I came around the corner, I could see what it was. It was a young girl, probably in her teens, was on inline skates, and she was clinging to her mother for dear life, and she was walking in them, right? And as I walked past, it's what dawned on me was her mum has never skated, so she can't teach her, right? Because skating is, surprised by the word skate, not walk.
No.
But because mum couldn't help her, the daughter didn't know. It failed. Had the mum known, darling, don't worry, just stand up and then just push one in front of the other. And the child said she'd have been holding onto a hand rather than clinging onto her for dear life, right? They were both sort of like hanging onto each other. Just loud walking. But so I think there's a lot to be done internally first. That's the starting point. What's my journey first?
Yes. And that's the only way we can co-create.
Yeah.
And that's the only way we can co-create a space, a relationship. Well, it's relationships at the end, everywhere. So create relationships so that we together all are co-creating the same path in this earth. But it starts from inside.
Oh my gosh.
It starts from inside.
I love what you've said. Thank you. I got the bit, which is I do my work, you do your work. In relationships, we have this common path, right? Then we talked about the project and how we all sit around and we create the common path, but everyone still has themselves. And you've just taken it another step further. Is that the world?
That's the vision I have. That's the vision I have, and that's what I'm in service for, is for all of us to co-create a new earth. But it happens through that, through the relationships we hold with ourselves and everyone you have around. Everyone in wholeness, through their authenticity, through their experience, through their knowledge, just this giving and receiving the relationships in every aspect of our life. And that's how you harmonize a world.
I love that.
You harmonize the place, your partnership, the work, you harmonize and you thrive. It's not that you only harmonize, because when you're co-creating, you're putting the energy, you're focusing into the same path, so it exponentially gets activated.
Beautiful.
And it flows. So if everyone is flowing through the wholeness, that's how everything changes.
And it plays into an idea I've had for a long time of this idea of a sort of like a global tapestry. And on this tapestry, it's like a jigsaw with a number of pieces missing. So imagine this tapestry, different colors, different sizes of pieces, different shapes, textures. Every one of these pieces is unique. Now, it might be that my piece is very small, but all is asked of me is fill your piece. Yours may be vast, right? Different shapes, whatever. All we ask is you fill your piece. And maybe part of the challenge in the world is that I'm not very good at filling my piece, but I'm going to try and make sure I fill your piece with my stuff. Yeah. And you fight back, and it's like, just get on with your own stuff. Get on with your own challenges, right? They're not, just fill your whole, fill your piece.
Your wholeness.
Fill your wholeness. Wholeness, love it.
Yeah, feel your wholeness, and through that you won't be asking and taking away from anyone anything.
Yes, because each of us is in service of the other.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all able to support each other on the common path. And if we arrive on the common path, as we touched on very early, and you're needy, it's not going to work.
No, because you're already taking from me
Taking.
what you need for you.
Right.
So it's not balanced.
Right. And if we're taking, then everyone suffers from it.
Yes.
Whereas when we're giving, everyone benefits from that. We start to thrive, we start to flow.
Yes.
But when the other one is taking, it's why often in you would have been in these meetings or workshops or whatever, it's like only an hour and I'm already like drained.
Exhausted. Yeah.
Right? Another time it might be a 2-day event, with evening and all those sorts of things. And I come out, I'm buzzing, right? Because everyone is giving in service of everyone else. We're all on the common path and it's inspiring and it's flowing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the other is, and it lines up with my, that model of mine, which is the talk at. Often this is the level of talking at.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I'm trying to get, so I'm talking. Rather than how can we, as we drop down, be together, be with each other, which is about being in service.
Yes. And that's the thing, you can never be in service if you're not in service for yourself. And if you're not whole.
Yeah.
And in harmony and all those things. So it's really, and that's why I say, when you see yourself, you change the world. Why? Because when you see yourself, it's when you're working on yourself to be whole.
Yeah.
And you have seen and uncovered a glimpse of your wholeness, of your true potential. It's when you see yourself. And there you start working on being whole to serve.
Right.
Because you instantly, when you see your wholeness, you serve.
Yeah.
You're there to serve because you know that you're connected to everyone. So the aim then becomes being of service. And how are you in service? Being in a relationship. And how are you in a relationship? Co-creating. Because if not, it doesn't work. And we see it from the person to the teams, to the organizations, to the politics, to the nations, to everything. If there is no balance, if there is no wholeness in each piece,
yeah,
that's why I want from you. That's why you take from me. And that's why I don't care, because I'm not a whole.
Yeah.
And I'm not in service.
Right. Rather than being in service, receiving, giving, etc. It flows. Even if you sit with the energy of the two words, taking, receiving, giving, reluctance, the energy doesn't flow.
No.
Surprise, surprise.
Mm-hmm.
But those that do, when you look at the difference between relationship and transactional, even just the energy is different.
It's different. It's transactional is one way.
Right.
One way, and then it comes back, and then one way, and relationship, it's relationship.
Yeah.
Well, relationship also can be transactional. The important is the wholeness of the relationship, so that they can be a co-creation, a harmony, a dance of the giving and receiving. And then it's when everyone grows.
Yeah.
When it becomes strong, and when it settles, because there's a common path. And the common path can be broken because there's no common, but there was something in a moment to grow, no?
Yes.
Because we change relationships at all levels.
All the time.
So, yes. And like we said at the beginning, it can be very short, it can be longer.
Yes. But the other bit that goes with that is the giving unconditionally. And you said it, which is when, if I'd gone to the store to be nice to them and being selfish as a transaction, what can I get, what can I take, the chances are I wouldn't have got it.
No.
Because she sees through it,
Mm-hmm.
feels, and I remember seeing someone do something, it doesn't matter what it was, but I watched it and I thought, this is icky. And he said, well, you know, this way, you watch, I will get something. And he didn't.
He didn't. Yeah.
And even when he sort of did a little mini protest, I smiled because I thought, you've tried to take.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't try and give unconditionally.
No. And that's, again, going to the start of the conversation, that has to do because you are present. And you are not being in a relationship to get anything out of it, because then you are in the future. And you are not in a relationship because you were in the, I don't know what, in the back, so that's a past. You are in the relationship in the now with whatever comes through you being whole and letting the other person be whole and co-creating with the vision, but not because you are having expectations.
Yeah. Because the only thing that was going to happen, or the key thing, was that I was going to return something to the store. The rest of it was unknown.
Yes.
But I went there, and as you do, as I do, much as I can, I want to build a relationship with someone, even if it's only for a moment.
Yes.
That's it. Because I think it has a ripple out.
Yes.
And are we all right for time? Just
5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. I was 2 weeks ago, I was in Oxford doing something called free listening. So you stand there with an open smile and a little note with a little piece of cardboard which says free listening. You talk, I listen. And where people came and talked to me, that was fine. But what was more interesting is those that walked past noticed the invitation, looked at me, looked at the sign, and smiled and nodded, but didn't stop, but carried on, or would look back, or would talk to their friend. Did you see that? Is that ripple out?
Yes.
So I wonder what he was doing. What about free listening? It didn't look like he was trying to get something. He wasn't selling anything. I wonder what he meant. And it might have sparked some conversations. But I think that if I was there trying to solicit people to get them, that's different. So it's an open invitation. It's almost like the guy who stands there with the blindfold on, with his arms open, saying free hugs. And I mean, that really is trust, because you never know, obviously, in this sad world at times, but the vast majority of people come and give them a hug.
Yes.
In fact, I remember doing one it was a charity, and I was a bear, like in the whole bear outfit. And it was lovely that young boys, young girls, and adults wanted to come and give a hug. Now, they have no idea who I was until I spoke, right? But it was a really precious moment to just be in the middle of this bloody great bear. And everyone likes to give bears hugs.
Yeah.
But there's something about that. What it's like that. There's a hospital drama on Netflix, which is the medical director's whole regime is about how can I help? How can I help?
Yes.
Whatever happens, the question is, how can I help? Yeah. How can we help? And again, picking up on what you said, he created the common path, which is they all started more and more and started, how can I help? What can we do to help?
Yes. And our wholeness for you.
Yeah.
For the relationship.
And because it was in America and it was a hospital which didn't charge people, unless obviously those that could pay paid, but those that couldn't still got served. It was unconditional. And therefore, the whole idea of being in service to the community, and we'll do whatever we need to make sure that happens.
Yes.
You know, that, and it was like, again, you said it, which is that the two individuals, one was a doctor, one was a drug addict. And so instead of trying to treat them, they took them to a place where if they needed to inject themselves and get drugs, they could get it safely and cleanly, etc., with clean needles and all of those things. And as a result of that, the other person, with the addict, was able to get the treatment he needed. It wasn't in hospital, it was needed. And so that was there again. They're going, how can we help? Yeah. This is not going to help. You know, and Nancy Klein talks about when she's coaching, at every single moment, what does this person most need now?
Yes.
What does the relationship most need now? What does the team most need now? And it's the team manager like you stands above it, not in an arrogant way, but looks, can see
observation.
Observation. This is what I think we need now. We need to stop. Right, for the rest of the afternoon, we're going to go to the park and play rounders or baseball or whatever.
Yeah.
And they go, but that's what we do, because we will get back the time we spent in those.
Yes.
I love this today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That realization, moving from, as you beautifully set it up, the common path with a 2, with 4, with 10, with 20, with a million, with a billion, with 7 billion. Beautiful.
That's our future. That's the future I envision, and that's the future for which I'm in service.
I love it.
No, truly, really. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Stop recording.
Yes.